Don't know what I'd do without this heater now. I don't know how I ever lived with it, without it. Absolute godsend it is. Morning, welcome back to Alvin's Allotment. Today we're going to be plumbing in the generator, which is kept and stored in a shed and will be bolted down to the floor. And I want to run the exhaust fumes outside the shed, similar to what we're doing with the diesel heater basically. But it proved a bit of a challenge. So the extension exhausts don't fit directly onto the exhaust. More importantly, you can't get in to tighten up a Jubilee clip or anything like that. And you only have a short stub. In fact, there's nothing protrudes out of the cap, so you can't get in there with a Jubilee clip or anything like that. And I've been thinking, how can I do this? Now I do see on eBay and I think it was Amazon as well, they do these adapters called a universal generator adapter. And if you're prepared to pay anywhere upwards of £36 to £70 for a piece of metal about that long, well, yeah. So I found an alternative way, which is a nice cheap method, which I'm going to show you today, and we'll see how it works out. So, I'm going to have this cup of coffee here and finish this off, and then we'll get set up on the tripod. And now it's dark in that shed and I haven't got any lights, but we'll try to get a little light in there so we can at least still see what I'm doing and how I'm going to achieve this for a couple of pounds. Morning, it's the 30th of December and I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this because I'm in the shed that's relatively dark and I've got a little torch on here. So today I want to get this generator and I want to be able to run an extension hose from this generator through the wall of the shed and outside. And this short one will do. It's about a foot long, maybe 18 inches long, and this one will do. So inside here, inside this cap, is the exhaust, the main steel exhaust. And I've been trying to find an adapter that will let me go from this to the extension hose, or an exhaust hose that would fit that, and there isn't any. So I was looking around on eBay and Amazon, and I did discover that they do make adapters for these, and they're like 70 quid each for a piece of metal about that long. And it's flared at one end and then reduces down to your 1 inch for your exhaust. So I played with several ideas. One of them was just an old piece of pipe which is off your you know, those little mini greenhouses and what have you, and I can make that fit snugly inside of that. So that was one option. However, it then reduces the carbon monoxide release by a couple of millimeters. I mean, it's not a lot, well, by an extra millimeter. Okay, and we're only going to be doing a short run and then it would open up again. However, I've deemed that that wouldn't be strong enough to do the job. And I looked and looked and looked for adapters and I could not find one. And then the answer was actually staring me in the face all along. Now I have a number of these hex spanners which are stainless steel and really thick walled, and would you know it, the box end, wrong spanner. It's the wrong one, guys, sorry. This one here, basically it's a spark plug spanner, couple of quid, and even the circular end goes snugly and really tight over the outside of that exhaust. So this is just a cap for decoration. The actual steel exhaust from the baffle, that is a really snug fit even as it is, but I want to make sure it's on. So what I can do now is I can actually cut this down, and it'll give me enough length to come out of here so I can attach the bracket. And then after all of that, I'm hoping, I don't know yet, but I'm hoping that I can actually just remove this cap, get the pipe on and get a Jubilee clip on there. So I'm going to have a go at this, and I'll bring you back if it's successful. Right, after all of my dilemma, it turns out this is a really simple fix. And if you've got one of these types of generators, I highly recommend, if you want to put it in a shed and run it, but have the exhaust fumes taken outside. It was as simple as taking this cap off. And as you can see, it's just a decoration cap. It is steel, stainless steel. It's a decoration cap. But what this allows me to do now is go straight onto there, but as you can see, it's a little bit floppy. Now we could tighten that up with some Jubilee clips, but what I'm going to do, what I first thought, and you'll see that this is just a plug spanner, and it's a perfect fit over there, and we can get that right up and even tap it into place once we've got it done. And all this does is give me that extension rod there, so that when I've cut the hex piece off as well, this opens up to 1 inch and will give me a much snugger fit on this exhaust. But even as is, and you can see how nice and snug that is. It's just a perfect fit. A cheap alternative to doing an extension repair on your exhaust, guys. They were charging £70, something like that on eBay, and it's just a quick hack, and that is more than sufficient to take these temperatures, let me tell you. Right, so we're all just about ready now, guys. Well, there's the end of the box spanner, and there's the other end off with the holes in, and we're left with this piece of pipe, which is, we know, is a perfect fit on here. So I'm not sure whether you can see down here, but I've now put on the black fire cement. Okay, we've got the black fire cement on and a Jubilee clip on there ready. What this should allow me to do now is put this on, nip it up, and then seal it round. I just want to get a bit of fire cement on the inside of this, like that, and then I want to slip that home all the way. Get it in a position where I can get a screwdriver on it. Right, good and solid. Let's get some more fire cement in the back of there. Let's get plenty in there on the back. I know I said in an earlier video to watch your hands with this, but I have got it stuck on my hands before, and it didn't actually harm me. It's just a bit awkward to clean off, basically. Don't be frightened about plenty on, guys. Make sure you get it sealed all the way around. Yeah, it makes a mess, but it does the job, and nobody's going to see it once the cap's back on. Again, some more fire cement. Just remember, guys, although I'm showing you this, if you do anything like this, you do it at your own risk. I'm simply showing you how I do it. And when you play with anything that's dangerous, you take the risks and the consequences that go with it. So just a bit of a disclaimer there. So now we'll put that on, and the might will slide it all the way up actually. And I'm just wondering if my guard will go back on there. Yes, it will. Fine. We just need to get it back off again. Nip up that bubbly clip, or fire cement around that. And this stuff sets like concrete, guys. So I'm going to get that all over there, sealing both pipes together. Line up the holes. And there we have it, guys. There's our extension hose attached to the exhaust. Now we just drill a large hole, larger than the diameter of this, so it can't touch the wood. And then we'll put our heat resistant block with a hole exactly the right size for this, which is a fire block basically, and that'll keep the shed nice and cool. Right, as you see, we're all plumbed in and almost ready to go. We've got to fill round here with some fire cement. Just before I do, I just want to show you how I do this, just so to minimise the risk of fire. So this is the outside now, the hose coming outside, and as you can see, the hole that we cut is bigger than the diameter of the hose, and you can probably see the fire breaker in the back there, but you can see that that hose is not touching any wood from the shed at all, and we fill all of that with fire cement anyways from the outside, and then we seal it again from the inside. There we have it. Don't be afraid to put plenty on around here. You're only going to do it the once, and it's going to protect the plastic and everything because the fumes are coming out this way on. So yeah, get plenty in there. It's only I don't know, I think it was about £8 for the tube of fire cement, but even if you use a full tube, get plenty in, guys. And there we are, all done on the inside as well, all the way around. Yep, it doesn't need to look pretty, we just want it to be practical. And that's what it is. So now we have the generator hooked up and at least put in most of the exhausts outside. Now don't gamble on this being foolproof. It should work, but again, it goes without saying, I don't work in this shed, certainly, well, not what, it's a storage shed for wood and bits and pieces basically, but I don't work in here. But I can keep the rain off the generator and now get 99.9% out of there, but there will be a carbon monoxide monitor in here as well, so that if it is running whilst I'm in, it will alert me very, very quickly. This is twice as toxic as the diesel fumes off the diesel heater, so just be aware of that if you decide to do something like this. And there we have it. It appears to be working fine. I've got this on now to heat up because this gets harder the hotter it gets. I thought I'd put the battery on charge from the generator as well whilst it's running. And I've been over there and well, that is definitely exhausting outside, absolutely exhausting outside, and of course this will get red hot now and go rock hard. Right, so while we've got the generator running, we thought we'd test the 240 electrics, and then we have the kettle on, as you can see. So I've got the kettle on, and then I've put this charger on just to give that battery a bit of a top up. We've got the other battery hanging off the generator direct, charging up. So the electrics were a success as well, and it's heating up that paste for the fire cement for to basically get that hardened off. It's running itself in, and whilst it's doing that, I might as well make use of the electricity it's producing. Give that a little bit of a trickle charge, and boil the kettle, and have a nice cup of coffee. And yeah, why not? Right, that brings us to the end of another exciting episode of Alan's Allotment. Hope you've enjoyed that, and hope it's of some use to some people who are thinking about trying to do something similar, and a cheap, cost-effective way of actually doing this instead of paying for these adapters. As I said, I think the cheapest I could find was £37, and then it was £37 for the postage. So either way, they were coming from America. And basically all it is a piece of metal that's burred on one end to widen one end. Now you can get burring tools as well, but I'm probably never ever going to, I didn't see any justification to buy that, because I'd do the one job and that would probably be it. And I found an alternative staring me in the face was a spark plug adapter, basically, a spark plug remover, and I've got loads of those in varying sizes, and don't worry, I haven't cut the one up that I need for to change the spark plug in the generator. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this, and and it's a cost-effective way if you're thinking of modifying your generator so you can take the exhaust and vent it outside. Now, sorry about the noise in the background. A point I wanted to make with these diesel heaters is, if you've been running it on a low temperature, you know, just keeping the ambient air nice and warm and keeping it a nice 20 degrees once you're up to temperature, and then you just turn it down. Before you turn off, bring it back up to high temperature and run it for a good 10 minutes. And what that will do is will burn out the chamber clean and stop any deposits building up inside the chamber, and therefore increase the longevity of your diesel heater. Now, the next video we're going to be making some greenhouse heaters on a budget, and I got this idea from TNT on YouTube, Thinking and Tinkering, basically. Sorry I forgot the guy's name at the moment, but I will give him a mention when we do this. And the simplicity just looks fantastic, and it might be something that you might be interested in if you want to heat your greenhouse, possibly even cheaper than the diesel heater. And you don't need any electricity car batteries either. So if you want to see that, be sure to hit the like, leave a comment in the sections below, or more importantly, hit the subscribe button and follow along. At this point, I just want to say again, as always, thanks for all your likes, comments, dislikes, subscriptions and your donations. As always, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way. Thanks again for watching, and a Happy New Year to everyone.